Joe Biden is out of his goddamn mind, both literally and figuratively. His agenda gets more radical by the day. He spent $2 trillion on COVID last week. Now he wants to spend another $5 trillion. But I mean, who cares? He won't be alive to foot the bill, would he? Of course not. He's almost 80 years old. He wants to end the filibuster, and now he wants cops to be able to go into your house and take your guns without a warrant. And even worse, the worst of all of this, for an administration that wouldn't shut up about how transparent they were gonna be, they have been astonishingly shady. Let's get into it. Today's stories, I think, are really quite eye-opening because it really shows how Joe, who ran as a moderate candidate, is actually quite radical and is enjoying the power he has. From Axios, Biden's New Deal, re-engineering America quickly. That doesn't sound good. Off the bat, President Biden recently held an undisclosed East Room session with historians that included discussion of how big is too big and how fast is too fast to jam through once-in-a-lifetime historic changes to America. All right, stop. Undisclosed East Room session. So you mean secret? How big is too big and how fast is too fast? So he had a secret meeting to see how radical he could be and how quickly he could do it. Nice. Why it matters. The historian's views were very much in sync with his own. It is time to go even bigger and faster than anyone expected. If that means chucking the filibuster and bipartisanship, so be it. These people are authoritarian. The filibuster protects us against the strong majority. They're gonna start shoving policy down our throats. They got the House of Representatives, the Senate, and little China Joe. Are we out of our minds? These people are admitting it. Bipartisanship, so be it. Four things are pushing Biden to jam through what could amount to a $5 trillion plus overhaul of America and vast changes to voting, immigration, and inequality. The voting changes? He wants to federalize the election. States are in charge of their own elections. But no. China Joe wants all the power. But he's not authoritarian, guys. He's so empathetic. He's such a nice guy. 1. He has full party control of Congress and short window to go big. 2. He has party activists egging him on. 3. He has strong gathering economic winds at his back. 4. He's popular in the polls. Yeah, because the polls are trustworthy. Presidential historian Michael Beschloss told Axios FDR and LBJ may turn out to be the past century's closest analogs for the Biden era, in terms of transforming the country in important ways in a short time. Beschloss said that parallels include the New Deal economic relief that Franklin Roosevelt brought in 1933, which saved the country from depression and chaos, and Biden is on track to leave the country in a different place as Lyndon Johnson did with his Great Society programs. People close to Biden tell us he's feeling bullish on what he can accomplish and is fully prepared to support the dashing of the Senate's filibuster rule to allow Democrats to pass voting rights and other trophy legislation for his party. If he removes the filibuster, politics in America is changed forever, for the worse. Please, don't let this happen. Oh my God. He loves the growing narrative that he's bolder and bigger thinking than President Obama. That's racist. That's racist. He loves being better than a black guy. That's racist. This temptation to go even bigger, Senate Republican leader Mitchell McConnell insists, will create such a fissure between the parties that he compared this week to nuclear winter. But we're told Biden won't hesitate. Just as he passed the $1.9 trillion COVID rescue package with 0 Republican votes, 0 regrets, his team sees little chance he's going to be able to rewire the government in his image if he plays by the rules of bringing in at least 10 Republicans. You mean the rules that we've been abiding by 150 years? Oh, yeah, but who cares about the norms? Joe is here, and we're going to do as he says, because the Democrats are the party of empathy and dictators. He won't roll their nose in it, we're told. That'll be the Biden touch to rolling the opposition and getting that much closer to the status of the latter-day FDR. Biden's list includes rural broadband expansion, which would be transformative for those communities, make child tax credits permanent, landmark legislation on climate, guns, and voting. And this is where the issue is. Because everyone wants more broadband expansion. Child tax credits permanent, that's fine. Landmark legislation on climate, guns, and voting. Ay, China Joe. But let's move on to the most transparent administration of our lifetime. Or are they? For weeks, the Biden administration, through the lying mouth of Jen Psaki, have been lying about the border crisis. They have been denying that it even exists until they could no longer deny it. Project Veritas, probably the best investigative journalist team in the country right now, got some leaked photos of the horrible situations that kids in cages are going through right now. The same kids in cages that Democrats claimed to care about months ago, now they don't care about them so much, do they? Interestingly, the Biden administration has not allowed any camera crews into these facilities to see how the kids are doing. The press is not allowed? Huh. It's like China Joe is really living up to the China part of his name. No press allowed? Are you out of your mind? Well, now, don't worry, guys. One camera crew will be allowed, and it will be escorted, because we are like China. From the Daily Mail, Jen Psaki defends White House decision to send press cameras into better migrant border shelter instead of one filled with crowded kids, calling it a first step to more media access. Nice. The Biden administration defended its decision to send members of the media into a better migrant shelter for children than the overcrowded ones. Press cameras finally being allowed into a border facility. Camera crew will join White House officials and members of Congress when they tour a border facility in Carrizo Springs, Texas. But cameras going in one of the shelters run by the Department of Health and Human Services, not ones being run by the Customs and Border Control, which are the ones that we saw in the Project Veritas pictures, which I'll show you shortly. It's the UCP shelters that have had reports of crowded conditions. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked why the media were being sent to an aspirational facility instead of one crowded shelters. We're also open to providing access there, and this is just the first step in the process of providing greater access to the media to decision. That doesn't make sense. No. What? Doesn't make sense? Comment down below. White House has faced criticism for not letting cameras inside shelters. Oh, you think, China? More than 16,000 migrant children are currently in U.S. custody. A record. Way to go, China Joe. Keep breaking records. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol released some photos and video this week. The release came after a Texas Democratic lawmaker released photos when he toured the facilities. You want to see these photos? Let's check it out. I know. There we go. Look at that. Looks like little hot dogs crowded into a little oven. Look at that. Kids in cages! Donald Trump! Oh my God! And if you think it's bad that they won't allow the press in here, China Joe hasn't answered one question from the press that hasn't been filtered by his press secretary. Check this out. When he said, "Hey, I'm open to some questions," the feed cut. Because whoever's in charge here really doesn't want Joe talking.
Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
I'm happy to take questions, he says. And the feed goes bye-bye. Because you're not allowed to ask Joe anything.
Thank you.
But there's more. Check this one out.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your confidence.
Well, thank you. We're only good. Now we're going to get down to business here, and Ron, who am I turning this over to?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I think it's time for our president has to leave now. Thank you.
Not only does he look lost as a person with Alzheimer's, or at least some senile dementia does, or would, who am I turning this over to? Staffer. It's time for the press to leave. Clearly he's not in charge, and for some reason, we're not allowed to ask questions. But wait, there's more. This was 2 weeks ago.
I see it from here, but they want to give a wave. I see him, yeah. And we also don't jump. We need you. And then if I could just...
That was so awkward. check out this guy, and he says, and then if I can just, and Biden is completely out of it, just keeps walking, completely out of it. And then keep in mind how the staffers are going to usher out the media. Keep an eye on the guy. Keep an eye on the guy. This is so awkward.
They want to give a wave. I see him, yeah. And we also double jump. We need you.
No.
And then if I could just
Completely ignores him. Doesn't even hear him. Senile. Look. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where he is. Look. Now, if his radicalism hasn't disturbed you, if his lack of access to the media hasn't disturbed you, how about this? Biden administration urges Supreme Court to let cops enter homes and seize guns without a warrant. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday will hear oral arguments in Caniglia v. Storm, a case that could have sweeping consequences for policing, due process, and mental health, with the Biden administration and Attorney General from 9 states urging the High Court to uphold warrantless gun confiscation. There's no reason to keep reading. You've heard it all here. And there it is. I mean, it's even shocking me how radical this administration is being. It's shocking how much control of the press they have. I mean, only allowing one camera crew in and escorting them? Seriously. I would imagine that's only in China, but no. In Joe Biden's America too. I mean, hey, he is Beijing Biden. Comment your opinions down below. What do you think about warrantless gun confiscation and cops being able to go into your house just to take your guns, your Second Amendment rights? It's crazy. But which of the 3 stories is crazier? I don't even know. Comment your opinions down below. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.